Hey everybody, and welcome to the Xano Summer Launch event. My name is Brandon Hassler. I'm the partner advocate here at Xano, and I'm going to be your host for what is shaping up to be a feature-packed and exciting show. Look, there is no denying that AI is changing how we work, how we think, and especially how we build. And that shift is hitting the back end like never before. At Xano, we have been sprinting to meet this moment, and today we get to show you exactly what we've been up to. Now, before we dive in, I am joined by somebody who has been driving this vision from the start, Xano CEO, Prakash Chandran.
Thank you, Brandon, and thank you all so much for being here today. I am so excited to share all of the things that we've been working on to really evolve Xano to meet the needs of this AI world that we're living in. We're going to talk today about recent releases, we're going to make some announcements, and more broadly talk about our evolution to really becoming the best backend for the agentic era. So whether you're building the next unicorn application or building an agentic solution for the enterprise, Xano is going to be your trustworthy partner to not only build quickly, but confidently and securely. Our product team is amazing and they have a lot of great things to share with you today. But before we get into it, I want to take a step back and look at the big picture. Today's event is about more than just feature releases. It's about a recognition that the way we develop software has fundamentally changed. We live in a world today where people are leveraging AI to build software faster than ever. But it's not just that people are building with AI, it's that AI is actually becoming a user of that software. What I mean by that is that for the past 2 decades, you would expose your backend business logic through an API, right? You take that API and you connect it to a front end, like a mobile or a web application. But increasingly in today's world, instead of a user using that API endpoint, there's a machine at the other end that is accessing your backend. And that machine is called an agent. And they require tools, they require context, they require a set of instructions that give their users exactly what they want when they want it. This is the agentic shift that Xano has been building to support over the past couple months and what we've been so excited about. Finally, I wanted to just extend a special thank you to our community of insiders that helped us battle test a lot of what we're going to showcase today. And that helps us empower you with primitives and building blocks to build for this agentic future in a secure and confident way. So enjoy the event. Let us know your feedback and happy building. Thanks.
Now that we've set the stage, it's time to show you what we've been building. We've got an exciting roadmap to walk you through today, and it's all centered around one big idea: how AI is transforming what your backend needs to be. Our product team is going to focus today's event into 3 areas, each showing how Xano helps you evolve with AI. First, you're going to see how to build 4 AI agents, the secure interfaces and structured tools that AI systems need to act within your backend. Then, how to build with AI assistants, using specialized AI assistants to design logic, write queries, and accelerate your backend development. And finally, what it looks like to build by AI, as backends become generative with agents creating your entire backend infrastructure on your behalf. And of course, we've got one big surprise waiting for you at the end. Trust me, you are not going to want to miss this. Throughout the show, we'll revisit what we've launched, debut what's launching now, and give you a glimpse at what's coming soon, all designed to keep you ahead of the curve. So let's start with the foundation, the tools that make agentic backends possible. Krista, take it away.
Thanks, Brandon. Hi, everyone. I'm Krista Krebs, product manager here at Xano. This last quarter, we've focused on something big: launching a brand new foundation for building agentic backends. And if you're working with AI agents, you know that having a scalable, secure backend is just as critical as getting your prompts dialed in right. At Xano, our goal is simple: make it incredibly easy to build the infrastructure those agents need to act for real production use. That's why we launched a suite of new AI features within Xano, your new command center for designing, testing, and scaling intelligent backend workflows. We started by introducing MCP servers and tools, the foundation for an agent-ready infrastructure. At the heart of it is the MCP server, and if you've been following the rise of AI agents, you've probably heard of the Model Context Protocol. MCP is the open protocol that defines how agents communicate with tools securely, consistently, and with human-readable instructions. If you would like to learn more, check out our 3-part webinar series we hosted in June. It's becoming the standard for how large language models interface with backend systems, and Xano is committed to delivering all the essential elements of the MCP protocol within a visual development environment. That means you don't need to stand up a server, reference complex SDKs or CLIs, or write JavaScript, TypeScript, or Python scripts to build a protocol-compliant agent interface. You just open Xano, click New MCP Server, build out your logic, and you're ready to go. You control how an agent discovers your tools by setting its server instructions, which define its purpose. Think of this as onboarding an AI agent to utilize your tools. but that's just the beginning. Next, you add MCP tools. These are the specific capabilities you're giving to an agent calling your server. And because you're building with Xano, these tools are powered by our fully customizable function stack. That gives an agent immediate access to your Xano database, external APIs, conditional logic, data cleanup, security features, and more, all using the same visual development environment you're already familiar with. Each tool includes a rich description and system instructions, which help an agent's LLM understand what the function does, what inputs it expects, and when to use it. We've taken care to ensure that your tools are not only functional, but interpretable by AI agents. Now, let's talk security. We introduced multiple layers of authentication for MCP servers, including static auth tokens and dynamic token-based server URLs. As we recently showed on our webinar about secure AI agents, this allows you to control access across environments or even by user session, all without having to hard code details into your prompts. And because this is Xano, we went further. You now have connection triggers, logic that runs before the agent sees any instructions. Need to check API quotas and force a user role, filter based on an org ID? You can do all of that dynamically as soon as the agent connects. Each tool can also have its own middleware, giving you another layer of control before the agent's request is executed. So whether you're enforcing compliance, logging usage, or adding runtime context, the customization is there. So now you've got a secure environment complete with tools your backend can expose to outside agents. But what if you want to bring that intelligence inside your backend to give it a thinking, reasoning brain of its own? We're excited to announce Xano Agents, intelligent, configurable agents that run directly inside your backend workflows. With Xano Agents, you can connect to any large language model, like OpenAI or Claude, using your own key. Set a system prompt to guide behavior, and define a task prompt either upfront or dynamically at runtime using our template engine, which we also launched this quarter to help you implement dynamic prompts with data values from your database or workflows. This makes agents truly usable and context-aware. Once created, you can call your agent from anywhere in Xano. Function stacks, API endpoints, database triggers, or even inside another MCP tool. It's up to you when to lean on prescriptive logic and when to hand it off to an agent for fuzzy reasoning or open-ended responses. The magic here is that Xano agents aren't just chat endpoints. They can call your Xano connected tools, which means you can give them real actions. This bridges the gap between natural language reasoning and structured, secure backend operations. Will you use this for a mixture of expert systems, orchestration models, looped or verification agents? We're excited to see how you use Xano agents, whether it's enabling agent-to-end agent communication, coordinating specialized models, or powering entirely new workflows. And for everything outside of Xano, we've got you covered there too. We launched MCP client functions that let your backend list and call tools from external MCP servers like Linear or Slack. That means you can integrate tools across systems, across teams, or even across vendors with full visibility and control. So whether you're building for agents, with agents, or both, the AI tools inside Xano are here to give you structure, speed, and scale. Michael, will you show everyone how Xano is using AI to help build in Xano even faster?
Thanks, Krista. Hey, everyone. I'm Michael Udinsky. I'm the customer engagement lead here at Xano. When we set out to bring AI into the platform, we made a conscious decision. We weren't going to build one vague, all-knowing copilot that sits off to the side and guesses what you want. Instead, we focused on building specialized AI assistants integrated directly into specific Xano features to help you move faster where you're already working. This approach gives you clarity, context, and control. We also believe in something we call trust but verify, sort of like human in the loop. So every AI assistant is designed to be verbose and transparent. It walks you through what it's doing so you can learn, tweak, and trust what it's actually building. Let me show you some stuff we launched this quarter. First up is the database assistant. Just tell it what kind of data your app needs, and it will create fully structured tables, field types, relationships, and even indexes all in real time. It's an incredible way to go from idea to normalized schema in just minutes. You can adjust the output, preview everything before you apply it, and then with a single click of a button, seed your tables with starter dummy data, saving hours of setup time, especially for complex apps and prototypes. But of course, sometimes you still need code, either for efficiency or to bring in external scripts or database logic from other platforms. That's why we launched 2 coding assistants, the SQL Assistant and the Lambda Assistant. The SQL Assistant translates natural language queries into properly syntaxed SQL and helps you understand what each clause is doing so you can learn along the way. And with the Lambda Assistant, you can write backend JavaScript, just describe what you want to achieve, and it will generate the logic for you. But also, if there's an NPM package available that does exactly what you need, the Lambda Assistant will help you import and utilize those packages as well. It's such a great way to work with custom logic or integrate third-party libraries without needing to memorize the syntax. And building on that, we recognize that another common friction point is integrating with external APIs. Finding that right API endpoint, deciphering through dense documentation, and piecing together things like headers, parameters, and even authentication can take hours of valuable time and disrupt your workflow. With the API Request Assistant, this solves all that. Just describe the API that you want to perform, and the assistant immediately configures your request. It will fill in things like the endpoint URL, headers, parameters, and even authorization details based on your instructions or directly from the API's documented requirements. In just seconds, you're fully set up and ready to start testing. If your API requires security keys or special authentication, you can easily add them right in the configuration panel. Because with every Xano AI assistant, it's like you're always collaborating with a co-developer for your backend. Imagine quickly setting up integrations like transactional emails with SendGrid or payments with Stripe, or even managing customer communications through Twilio, all without digging through that dense API documentation. And finding these powerful helpers in Xano is super easy. Just look for the purple AI Assistant badge throughout your workspace and function list. And wherever you see that badge, an assistant is ready to jump in and help build your backend for you. But this is the one I think we've all been waiting for. I'm super proud to announce the Function Stack Assistant, which we're launching soon in beta. It understands what you've already built in your function stack and suggests the next logical steps. Need a conditional or a loop, maybe a variable to hold a result, or maybe you want your function to retrieve or update your data, restrict access per the authenticated user, or parse and format a string of text. The Function Stack Assistant helps you scaffold logic based on your actual function design, not just a long descriptive prompt. It works in functions, API endpoints, even MCP tools, adapting to the structure you've already laid out with full context. And it's just the beginning. Over the rest of the year, we'll be evolving the assistant to help you build full logical flows, optimize your function stacks, and even prevent errors before they happen. So whether you're designing a database, writing a Lambda, or building an agentic workflow, Xano AI assistants are here to help you build faster with confidence and transparency. And once again, this is just the start, because building fast isn't enough anymore. We know that today you want speed and security, and that you want the flexibility of AI, but with the structure and protection of a real backend. So what happens when developers want AI to help build entire workspaces tailored to their needs? For that, I'm going to pass it off to Lachlan, who's going to explain something really special about how this is going to work.
Thanks, Michael. My name is Lachlan McPherson, and I'm an AI product manager here at Xano. I'm excited to talk to you now about how can AI actually build for you. Now, if you're like me, you've heard a lot of the term vibe coding, and vibe coding is really a new class or way of developing where we can have natural language or speak to an AI and have it then generate code or an application for us. Now, this is bringing forward a whole new class of developers, but what they're also realizing is that development is much more than just generating the code. It needs to be understood, maintained, edited, and improved, and that's often where vibe coding can fall down. So when we thought about how can we bring vibe coding or AI-driven development into Xano, we really wanted to ensure that the code that's generated is still understandable and usable and can directly interface with the existing visual paradigm that we've got in Xano. So how we did that is AI, unfortunately, vision models aren't quite there where it can explore the function stacks for us and know how to build those items. We need to be able to expose the underlying code that powers Xano. And to get it to a point where we're ready to give it an AI, we developed our own scripting language called XanoScript to really be the perfect solution to enable AI and human alike to understand how to develop a backend. Now, how we developed XanoScript, it was built off the back of giants. So unlike Python and JavaScript, which can be very verbose, XanoScript is a very minified language that is very structured like JSON and YAML and enables you to stack one block on top of the other or after another to give you really powerful workflows. And importantly, whether you start in a visual view or you start in a code view, you can easily toggle between them. So whether you feel more comfortable with code or visual or soon a prompt interface, we kind of tie together all the different ways you'd like to develop in a single platform. Now, you actually already saw XanoScript powering that. Michael showed you through our function stack assistant, which with, again, natural language, we're able to power it to intelligently suggest the next block that it should place inside the function stack. But that's not true vibe coding. Also, I've heard from some of our beta testers. Vibe coding to them is whether in your favorite platform, such as, Claude, your chatbot, or you're in Cursor or Copilot, your IDE, how can we interface with Xano from those platforms? And that's why we introduced recently our Xano MCP server. Now, the MCP server creates a unified or a simple way to have AI agents begin to programmatically interface with your Xano environment, whether it be adding database tables or editing the schema within them, viewing the records and editing them, or viewing your request history or the current spec for your APIs, are already able to interface with Xano from these environments. So I can easily know what my customers are up to and how they're accessing my system. But to further extend that as well, we're going to further improve our MCP server to enable you to also pass across XanoScript with it as well. So this means I can be inside of Cursor, and with our new VS Code plugin that will be coming as well, we're able to have our Xano environment pulled down into our IDE. I can then ask it to build me a Stripe endpoint to add an order, to send an email via SendGrid, or anything we think of. I can have that then be built in my IDE and pushed automatically back into my Xano environment. And the important thing then is I can pick up where the AI left off in the visual IDE and keep building, or the rest of my team can keep building in that environment in whichever language suits them most. So I'm really excited to see how AI is going to enable you to build faster, but also build in a way that you can understand it and securely deploy that code as well. Now, I think that having AI build for you is probably one of our most requested features, but we do have one more surprise up our sleeve with probably our most requested feature. I'm going to pass it back to Prakash now to share that with you.
We covered a lot, from AI features to agentic infrastructure to just the future of backend development. But there is one more thing. We continually hear from our community that while they'd love to use Xano, that the cost of entry is frankly too high, that people need to upgrade to one of our dedicated launch or scale plans to unlock Xano's full power. We understand that we're living in a world today where more people are building software, and they're building it faster and with more uncertainty. And we needed to meet this moment by investing in our infrastructure and making sure that Xano was accessible to everyone that wanted to build the software that matters most for this agentic era. That's why today I'm thrilled to announce our new starter plan. For as little as $25 a month, we give you a full AI-ready development environment. More than just a database, we give you a full backend, complete with a visual business logic builder, things like background tasks, an AI agent builder, and much, much more. It's the perfect foundation to test your ideas and turn them into impact. For those of you with more complex needs, scaling needs, and enterprise-grade requirements, we are introducing the Pro Plan. The Pro Plan comes with even more storage, more compute, more workspaces, and features that were only previously reserved for enterprise plans. It is for businesses and individuals that want a backend that scales as fast as they do. With the introduction of these two plans, we'll be sunsetting the launch and scale plans. But don't worry, if you are on one of those plans, we've actually upgraded your resources to make your plans even better. And if you do feel the need to upgrade to Pro, we're also offering an exclusive discount for the next couple months for you to upgrade. The introduction of these two plans marks an important milestone on the journey for us to become the best backend for the agentic era. And we want to be your trusted partner, which means that we'll continually be listening and adding value across every single tier. This is just the beginning. It's clear that AI has and will continue to change the software development landscape, and it's our responsibility to make sure that you have the tools and understanding that you need to build for the agentic era. So whether you're building your first AI agent or figuring out how to make a transition in this new AI world in terms of your software stack, we are here to support you every step of the way. Thank you so much again, and happy building.
Thanks, Prakash, and thank you to everybody who has joined us today. From building for AI to building with AI to even building by AI, this is exactly where backend development is headed. And as we've seen, Xano is already there, and we are leading the way. Today, you have seen powerful new AI tools. You've experienced the possibilities of agent-driven development and explored how Xano continues to shape the future of visual backend development. To learn more about all of the amazing features that we have unveiled today and to explore the new starter and pro plans designed specifically to accelerate your next big idea, visit our website at xano.com. We can't wait to see what you build next. Thank you again for joining us, and we're going to see you in the future. All right. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the summer launch so far. I think we're going to hop into some Q&A right now. We've got obviously Prakash, Xano's CEO, ready to answer anything really. This is your chance to ask anything. If it's about new features, what's coming next, anything on your mind, feel free to drop your questions in the chat, and we will try to answer as many as we can. So let's start with our first one here from Chris. So he asks, is there a launch date for the function stack assistant, and will it understand custom functions within the stack too, and make recommendations for how to refactor the stack? What do you think, Prakash?
It's a great question. The function stack assistant actually is already being tested internally, and you obviously just saw it there. I think the thing that we want to make sure to get right is that it is truly very helpful, and it has the context that it needs across your environment to make the best possible recommendations. And so to that end, there's a little bit more tweaking and fine tuning that we have to do, but we're hoping that kind of within the next couple releases, we'll be able to enable it more broadly. And so in terms of that context and understanding, it has just the idea of your current function stack, but over time, we're working on having it have more context of your entire workspace, especially with things like XanoScript that give us that type, or that allow us to feed that type of context into the agents and models that are building this for you.
Very cool. Very cool. And then let's see here. Next up, I know our team's grabbing a bunch of questions as fast as they can. We've got how do Xano agents, MCP, and tools compare to LangGraph? And do we have any observability or logs for Xano agents?
Yeah, I'll start with the last one first. So just on the observability log. So every agent run is logged within Xano. And you can even kind of enforce middleware to have additional logs and have business logic to push that to the logging tool of your choice. On top of all of that, we've also been working with enhanced logging, which you're going to be able to push to tools like Datadog. So you can expect more to come in the upcoming releases there. In terms of agents and how we compare to tools like LangGraph, that I don't have the specific answers to. You'll have to talk to one of our AI PMs or Lachlan, who's not currently on here, but I can have him circle back with you and get you an answer to that specifically.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff coming up with these Xano agents. Next question is, how does the $25 starter plan compare to the previous $99 launch plan?
Yeah, so it's a great question. And by the way, the answers to these, we're going to publish an FAQ, which goes into all of this in great detail. But at a very high level, the $25 starter plan is not as powerful as the launch plan that currently exists today. We wanted you to have the full build experience in building with Xano. You'll get a single workspace to do that, and some resources could be shared. But on the launch plan, that's kind of a production level plan that a lot of people use to kind of scale to the needs of what they're doing in their business. And so you still get a lot of great things with that starter plan. We wanted to make that affordable and accessible, and it's a great plan for you to test and prototype your ideas with.
Yeah, and on our website, you'll be able to see a full breakdown of all of the features on starter plan. And there's a lot I feel like we're being very generous with a lot of the cool stuff we're adding in there. So it's exciting, but definitely a great plan for building your MVP and getting started with all the great features of Xano. All right, next question. What is your long-term vision for integrating Xano with broader AI agent ecosystems?
Yeah, so in general, I think that it's important for Xano to be an extensible platform where you can build all of Xano outside of Xano. And so a lot of what you saw today were building blocks and steps to be able to do that. And so as we start to roll out the Xano MCP, Xano script, you'll be able to see, or you'll be able to kind of leverage some of these other tools, whether it be the tools of today or tomorrow, to actually completely set up your Xano workspace, your instance, your business logic, your database, everything with it. So it is something that it's one of our core pillars of what we're working on this year. And you'll see hopefully more and more of that in the coming months.
Awesome. Awesome. And then let's see here. Next question we've got, with the starter and pro plans, are any of the AI features usage metered or subject to LLM quota restrictions?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So the features within Xano itself that you're leveraging to help build, with AI, are not metered. You can use them completely for free to build within Xano. But when it comes to building your own capabilities and your own agents, you're going to be using the models that you choose. So, for example, with OpenAI, you'll kind of get your own API key, and you'll have the building relationship with them directly.
Awesome. Very cool. And then we've got another question here. Will there be a marketplace or shared library of reusable Xano script?
Yeah, 100%. That's something that we're actively working on. Daniel, who's our developer advocate, I believe he's here in the chat. He's working on a Xano agent kit that you're going to be able to leverage and use. And there's going to be more and more components and primitives and building blocks that you'll be able to leverage in a marketplace type format that will make accessible to the broader community.
Great. Yeah, that's going to be exciting stuff with all the Xano script functionality. And then we've got a question here. Does the function stack assistant learn from how I build over time, or is it static per session?
Yeah, so right now it is static per session. This is something that we're actively working on to get more context around your entire workspace to help make better recommendations. So this is something, again, that we're iterating on. And then when we launch it more broadly, we want to make sure it's a real help to you as you build. So we definitely have the foundation there, but we're kind of building more broadly to make sure that it is very useful and is context aware of your workspace.
Awesome. All right, let's see. And then this question here, do you have some example use cases for the Xano agents functionality?
I think this is still kind of being even discussed and experimented with in the marketplace more broadly. But you see people building agents to build internal FAQs, kind of like an internal ChatGPT or Perplexity. You see agents being leveraged for the marketing use case, enriching information and filling it out with the CRM or the data within their application. There are so many different use cases that people are experimenting with amongst these agents that they're creating. And I would love to see, Chris, what you get up to and other members of the community, because I think the community-driven nature of what is going to be created in Xano, leveraging all of these new tools, is what I'm probably most excited about.
Awesome. Yeah. And I know in our, I believe we just refreshed all of our documentation with this event, and there should be some examples in the documentation under the AI agents section. And then I do know that we've got a lot of really good like video content and stuff around these AI agents. So you're definitely going to see a lot of great use cases and examples if you're having a hard time coming up with of ways that you would utilize it, or just find ways that you maybe never had thought of. So definitely exciting stuff. And then let's see here. We've got, are you hiring? I'm more excited than ever for Xano Life.
I love it. Well, we're really excited about Xano Life as well. We are hiring, and you can see some of our open recs on our website. So if you go to xano.com, you scroll down to careers, you can go ahead and click that and see our openings. But yeah, we'd love to have you apply.
Definitely. And then I think this might be our final question here, unless we have any more coming in the chat. Is XanoScript coming to the actions, and what's the future of actions and snippets?
Yeah, so I actually think actions and snippets are probably one of the most underutilized but powerful features kind of within Xano. But notably, the user experience in using them isn't great. And so one of the things that we are going to work to do is improve the experience around leveraging actions and snippets. But you can expect XanoScript to be a part of every part of Xano, right? XanoScript is just another way to build reusable code faster, actually. So you'll see it in actions and any other new reusable components that we introduce over the coming year.
Sweet. And I got one more question. It's and this one's just for you, Prakash. How excited are you about all of this? Because out of a scale from like 1 to 10, I'm a 15 right now.
I am incredibly excited. I'll be honest. When all of these like AI builders came out last year, and so many more people were starting to build with AI, I was a little nervous. I'm like, okay, well, what does this mean for Xano and more broadly for the community of builders of like these visual development tools? But now I think that I've kind of experienced them, had some time in the market, and also understood the highest value that we can add on top of AI. I'm more excited than ever, really. And I think that we will really be the best place to kind of store your business logic, which is increasingly probably the most important part when you're building these new types of applications. Because like I said earlier, increasingly the front end of these applications will be agents. And in a world where that exists, your business logic becomes the most important thing. So we want to be your best backend logic business engine, your best backend for the agentic future. And I couldn't be more excited for that.
Me as well. It's a beautiful time to be alive right now. So that wraps up our Q&A, and big thanks to everybody who joined today. Thank you, obviously, Prakash, for taking the time to share your thoughts and answer some questions. And this will officially close out the summer launch event. All of the new updates, by the way, all of the new pricing and everything, it is now live at xano.com. So head on over there. We got lots of great documentation and information to answer those questions that maybe weren't answered. And if you still have follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to us either over on the Xano community, or you can reach out to our awesome customer success team. So thanks again, and we will see you all soon.
Thank you, Brandon. Thanks, everyone.